Welcome to the Arsenal show. We are live, and it is the post-match reaction of the Arsenal versus Leeds game. The 2-1 victory against 10-men Leeds to push Arsenal 4 points clear of Tottenham. We usually bring this straight after the game, but we had a change of plan yesterday, so we're bringing it to you today. Hopefully, there's no issues there. All right. So, Arsenal got a 2-1 victory, dominated the game. Leeds went down to 10 men after Luke Ayling with a double-footed challenge in the 27th minute. Earned himself a yellow card. But then after VAR, had a word with the ref. The referee went and had another look. And after he had a look, there was no other option. Once Luke Ayling, he was frustrated. There's a lot of love for Luke Ayling as a former Arsenal youth player. But if you're going two-footed challenge in there on, as he did on Gabriel Martinelli, the inevitable was going to happen. When I first saw it, I was a bit like, and then when I saw it in slow motion, I was winced and thought to myself, there's no way he can stay on the pitch after that. Both feet were off the floor, stud showing. It was only one card that was going to be shown in the end, and it was red. It's a shame for Luke Ayling. And to be fair, it kind of changed the game a little bit as well. Once Arsenal had the one-man advantage, Leeds actually probably played with a bit more discipline. They kept it tighter, and they were more difficult to break down. Arsenal did have opportunities to go and finish off the game, but in the end they didn't take it. But what was important was they didn't concede and they kept that clean sheet. They kept that second goal at bay, which meant they got the 3 points, and which meant, most importantly, they went into Thursday's game against Tottenham with that 4-point advantage, with that gap, with what some people say is a nice little buffer. However, I'm sure Mikel Arteta and his men won't see it that way either. I think Mikel Arteta is going to see this as, if Arsenal can get the 3 points against Tottenham, then that's it. We're in the Champions League. And I'm thinking it that way as well. We don't want to lose against Tottenham, but I think it's a dangerous tie if we go into that thinking a draw is going to be enough, or thinking we should play for a draw. I think if we go for the victory, I think with the form that we've been in, the way that we're playing, the confidence we've been playing at, the way that certain players have been playing in the team all season pretty much, I think we've got a really good chance of getting something out of the game on Thursday against the Spuds. So let's get to the player ratings. When I put my player ratings out there, I want to hear what you've got to say about your player ratings, what you think of mine. Yeah. So if you are new to the show, press that like and subscribe button. If you're a regular, press that like button so everyone can else see that you're enjoying the show and you're watching. See people in there now. If you're watching on Twitter, make sure you come over to KS1 TV. I'm going to smash the link in the comment section of the Twitter post. So you can come and join in on the live chat as well. All right, so let's get underway. Boom. Let's go. All right. First and foremost, yesterday in goal for Arsenal, Aaron Ramsdale. I thought Aaron Ramsdale had a pretty quiet game. Just thinking about the goals, there's not too much he could have done with the goal. It's not too much he could have done with the goal, because I thought the goal came from a lapse in concentration. It is the first goal we've conceded from a corner all season, it was massively disappointing. We were speaking about it before the game with a couple of friends, and I said, I think that stat came out again that we hadn't conceded from a corner. You thought, this is going to be the game where we concede against a team who was not massively renowned for being great in the air, especially with Patrick Bamford not being in the team. That it'd be Leeds that would score past us with that goal, but it wasn't even a header, which is the most frustrating thing. It wasn't a header. It was from a centre back who's like 6 foot plus. It was a tap in at the back post. So yeah, Aaron Ramsdale didn't nothing too wrong, but again had a quiet game. Their first shot on goal and on target was the goal. And then they had two shots after that, which I don't think he had anything to do with them either. So I could give Aaron Ramsdale a 6 for yesterday's game. Gabriel, I thought Gabriel, he got that early booking. But Gabriel, I tell you what, Gabriel, for someone who was renowned for being a bit of a hothead earlier in the season, last season definitely, got sent off at silly moments after he got his first yellow card, and people said he needs to start thinking about what he's doing in those moments, in key moments like that, because he's letting down the team. He's in his last few games, I think he's had a couple of yellow cards early doors, and he's had the maturity to not get sent off and pick his battles in the game. So I'm going to give Gabriel a. I'm still hurting about that goal we conceded because it's from a corner. I'm going to give Gabriel. They were solid though. I'm going to give Gabriel 6. 6 isn't a bad one. It's a high 6. Rob Holding, ever present when needed. Mr. Reliable he's turned into as well, hasn't he? Rob Holding coming in the last 2 games once again. Solid game for Rob Holding, but I'm going to put the organisation down to Gabriel and Holding on that corner. I'm not blaming them for the corner, but these are the leaders in the team, and they should be making sure that people are setting their positions and following their man and hitting on the second ball as well. So I can only give Rob Holding a 6 just because of the goal we conceded yesterday. I maybe seem harsh, but 6 isn't a bad score. 6, 6 isn't a bad score, especially when Leeds only had 3 shots on target yesterday. We had 67% of possession or 69% possession. Leeds just weren't in the game. And I thought better performances, not because themselves could have been better, but I thought because there was more coming down on their sides, I thought the fullbacks were more involved in it. This man here, Tomiyasu, is so good that he's back. He filled in at left back instead of Nuno Tavares, which at first when I saw it on paper, I assumed that it was Cedric that was playing at left back. So it's interesting to see that with this game coming up against Tottenham, that Tomiyasu's been put into a left back role and Cedric's been redeployed as that right back cover for Tomiyasu. And I can very much see that being the starting back 4 if Ben White isn't fit to come up against Tottenham and up against Leeds. You can see why. There's a lot more composure from Tomiyasu on that left. He's probably not as direct going forward as Nuno Tavares, but Nuno Tavares, he's still learning his game. He still needs to tidy up his defending. He still needs to tidy up on his touch and things like that. And I do feel like there is a little bit of lack of self-belief in Tavares' game at the moment, which could make games against the better teams even tougher. And coming up against Kulusevski, a Kane, a Son, we could be taken to the cleaners if Tavares has a bad game. So Tomiyasu coming in the other day, I thought he did really well. I'm going to give him a 7. Cedric, this guy comes under a lot of criticism, and I don't understand why. I can understand that he's not the best. Hello, Steve. I can understand that he's not the best defender, the best player, the most strictest, but he's doing a good job. He was covering for Tomiyasu beforehand. He's been reliable. Yeah, there's certain part of games that they probably want from a different type of defender, probably more pace, more whip on the ball. Hopefully, Cedric just stays away from free kicks from now on. But yeah, I thought another solid performance from Cedric. So I'm going to give him the same score as Tomiyasu. I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Hey, Akbar, how you doing? Steve.
How you doing, mate? All right.
How you doing? Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, he done all right. He played really well. I thought him and El Nini, they're sort of we're getting to that time of the seasons now where it's not really about performances; it's about getting the job done. And I think El Nini and Xhaka are doing that. And I thought Xhaka did all right. I thought he was solid enough in the first half. He gave a few balls away. But it was a good, decent, solid, professional performance from Xhaka without any frills. But I would have given him a 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would have given it about the same. High 6, low 7, just because it was just a solid performance. And I think that a lot of the time it was going in other directions and it wasn't really played much through him. So not through his fault, but yeah, it's just part of the game. It's just the way the game flowed. How you doing, Stephen? Mohamed El Nene.
What can we say about Mohamed El Nene? I don't know what you thought. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, and I thought he was, if he was probably the best midfield player. He was probably better than Xhaka. I thought he was that good. I thought he was that good. I think since he's came in, like a minute ago, he's not let us down, and it's about time. We're all sort of on his back when he plays bad, and he does have some really naughty games sometimes. But we should be also then the first people to say that when he does well. And recently he's been doing well, and he was excellent for me the weekend. He was touching on an 8, but I think I was probably going a little bit over the top just due to the fact that I just love this geezer so much, and he always is just pure Arsenal, puts in performance most times, even if it ain't that exciting to see. He does a job, but as I said, like just then, I thought he was the better midfield player, and I didn't think he let us down. And yeah, he's a player that could be taking us through to the Champions League with these type of performances, and we need him. So I'd give him a 7.
All right, 7 for El Nene. Yeah, I thought El Nene was excellent. I thought his passing was brilliant. There was 2 through balls that he did. One was along the floor, lovely, cut it through at a lovely angle, and one was in the air. He pinged it for I think it was to Martinelli. Just at the end when Nicolas Pepe had a lapse in, I don't know, judgment, should we say? It was El Nene that put in the block, sliding tackle to put in the block to cut out a great interception there, went straight to Pepe. And I thought he was doing that all game. He was just diving in with the nice touches and or standing up and poking the ball away from players. I thought El Nene was brilliant. Yeah, and I think it's tough. Is it a 7? Is it an 8?
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with an 8.
I think because yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's just the second half it got a bit quiet, but he was still more involved. So I'd probably give him an 8 because I'd probably say he was probably one of the best players on the pitch.
Definitely.
Martin Odegaard,
best player on the pitch, improving every week, and it's just again, like I say, every week it's just exciting to see what we've got to come from him. His movement on the ball, the little flicks that he plays, even before he don't there's hardly ever 2 touches from him. It's normally they play the ball from it and he'll flick it off straight away 9 times out of 10. If when he needs to hold on to it, it's always the right choice to hold on to it, and he always plays the right pass. His work rates is second to none. I'd love to know how much this kid runs in 90 minutes. I'd love to see it, but the guy for me was the best player on the pitch, and he's taken that captaincy on, and I'd heard a couple of months ago that he was going to be given the captaincy next season, and I ain't got no arguments about that because this kid can only go from strength to strength. Kieran, we've spoke about him a lot now, but for me, it's got to be a 9 for me. I just thought he was absolutely outstanding in work rate, in skill, in his touch, everything, absolutely everything. 9.
9 for Odegaard. I thought Odegaard was very good yesterday. He glides around the pitch. His vision's very good. He just spots things. Yeah, I'm going to give him the same score as I gave El Nene. I'm going to give Martin Odegaard an 8 yesterday for yesterday's game. Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, again, he had an excellent game. He wasn't as good as probably what Odegaard was, but again, he caused those problems. Even when he has not really a good game as much as he normally does, he's always a concern for defences. And he's definitely got to improve on his shooting. I'd look at the stats. Not that I'm one for stats, but I'd look at his stats and the amount of shots that he's had. I think he's has won more shots than any other footballer in the Premiership. I think he's like, say, about 4th highest. With about 80 shots. So that has definitely got to improve. And a couple of times against Leeds, that's sort of shown. But, that's picketing really, because everything else about his games is just so good. I think if he can get that goal scoring right, I said the other week that he could be on the same sort of line as a few years as Mo Salah. And I still really believe that. I really do believe that. Get that goal scoring right. I can just picture him. He's just the same. The running at the ball, he's just the same as Salah. His movement's the same as Salah. His intelligence is the same as Salah. The only thing he hasn't got that Salah's got is goals. And he gets the shots, which is a good thing that he gets the shots in. So for me, I'm still going to give Saka a 7.
All right. Saka 7 from Steve. Yeah, I thought that Saka was always a danger in the first half. I think it was a lot quieter in the second half. But I think that's more down to Leeds, and they got a lot more tighter, a lot more disciplined. So it's a little bit harder to break through. Didn't really take our chances when we did get them. And yeah, I agree with Saka's finishing. He needs to a lot of the time he needs to just get it on target more and test the goalkeeper, put it in the corners more. But I think that will come. Yeah, I'll give Saka a 7 as well.
Yeah.
Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah, he again worked very hard, constant threat, just the whole 90 minutes. Very similar to Saka if he's not scoring goals or if he's not assisting, or if he's not sort of making the goalkeeper work, he's still a problem for defences because you have to those type of players you can't leave alone for 1 minute. And with his pace and with his touch and his ability to be able to hold on the ball close to his feet when he's running with it, that is the worst thing with you. You've ever played at the back here, and I wasn't defending with you, but I'm sure you've played at the back. There's nothing worse when someone's running at you, and they've got the ball at their feet, and it just sticks to their feet, and you just can't stop it. And even though he didn't, he wasn't really having a chance of scoring goals. I think he still played well. Very solid performance. I'll give him a 6, probably a high 6, but 6.
I thought he was a danger in the first half. Relentless. They couldn't keep hold of him. Leeds. It's probably the reason why they were down to 10 men with Luke Ayling and that.
Oh yeah,
and that red card. Because they just couldn't keep track of him. He was sending him all over the place. So he's going for a double-footed challenge. He also got the assist as well, and he was integral to the first goal. So I'm going to give Martinelli a 7.
Yeah, it's probably right.
The assist. But yeah, a lot quieter in the second half. But yeah, Gabby is. He's kind of solidified his first team spot because he just gives that little bit more.
Smith Rowe?
athleticism than Smith Rowe.
Yeah.
It's more for me. It's more athleticism, and I think that's why when you've got Saka and Martinelli on either wing, it's just trouble. Because Smith Rowe is a very, very good player, but I think with the pace and the energy that Martinelli brings, is holding down that left.
Do you think his weight lets him down a little bit, Smith Rowe? Do you still think?
Yeah, I still think he's too heavy. I still think he's too heavy. I do. I do think he's too heavy. But we'll see. He's had a few injuries as well this season, a few niggling injuries. So hopefully a full pre-season can get him through that and sort of tidy up on some of that weight. He's just a little bit too heavy. But, Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, I mean we can't knock Eddie. I mean, fantastic the first goal, and way charged down the keeper, never stopped running. That's what you want from your centre forward. So someone like that. Where have you been, Eddie? Where's this guy seen? It's like we're watching this new player sort of appear in front of our very eyes, and it's again very similar to Elneny with these type of performances that your Elneys and your Nketiahs are giving us over the last 4 or 5 games. It's very similar when you go back to the like I've mentioned in the past, like the Christopher Wray type of performance, where they bring someone in when your top players finishes and then they take you to a title or they take you to a Champions League. And this is very, very similar, seems to me what's happening now. But Eddie Nketiah, again, great finish for the goal, just tirelessly works his arse off, and he's done that, for the last 4 games now. And just come on, Eddie, just if you are going to leave, just give us them last 3 games, and we'll certainly be remember you in a good light. But definitely a very good performance, workmanlike, got 2 goals. So I think he won us the match at the end of the day. So he was the reason why we won the game, because Leeds got that 1 goal back. And when you think if he wouldn't have charged that ball down, which 9 out of 10 centre forwards would not have done, then we would have come away with a point. Yeah. So I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, I think that's the first score. Yeah, I think Eddie Nketiah has come under a lot of criticism, and if you think about it, he was probably judged on Carabao Cup performances and 80-minute substitute performances, which he said himself. He said, "There's a lot of people out there judging me on performances, but they can't really say because I've not had a run of 3 or 4 games." And he's right. He's right. Yeah. And then since he's had that, he's come in and scored 4 goals. He's got a brace against Chelsea and he's got 2 against Leeds, and they've won us the game. So if you're gonna do your talking, you do it on the pitch, and Eddie Nketiah has definitely done that. The first goal epitomises everything that he's brought to the team since he's come in. Something that Lacazette has been lacking. One is chasing down players and defenders, putting them under pressure and getting in the box. And he was there for both of them. Rushed down the keeper and tucked it away. And his second one was an excellent finish. It was just behind him, in the right position, and that's Eddie Nketiah goal day long. And I think an 8's a fair score for him. Let's see what he can do for the running towards the end of the season.
Do you know what I like about him?
Definite topic.
Do you know what I like about him? He gives me the feeling that he knows how good he is, and I've never looked at that before. I always looked at Eddie Nketiah as pretty much, just like a third choice, second striker who's, just not an Arsenal player. But I genuinely feel, by looking at these last 4 performances and going by now, looking back on like his comments, like you've just mentioned about that people haven't seen me playing and I haven't had a chance and all that. It's coming across to me that I think all along that he knows how good he is.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And I think that's exciting, and it does put you in that conundrum where you just don't know what to do. I mean, he's not. I don't want him as our number 1 striker, but he's definitely He's definitely making me thinking about number 2 now.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you're talking about bringing in a centre forward and a winger, and you're talking about Eddie Nketiah being the number 2 second choice of that striker, it's definitely a conversation. it's definitely something that just can't be completely written off now.
No.
Because and I think you're right where he says he believes in himself. And I don't know if anyone watched the TV show South of the River, where it was about footballers from the South, and Eddie Nketiah was one of them. And Rio Ferdinand said there's something about these players from the South, their self-beliefs. Jadon Sancho, Eddie Nketiah, the list goes on. And it's just like, you think about it, it's like, yeah, it's true. They've got that sort of chest out swagger bravado, and you wouldn't even think of Eddie, but you're seeing it. You're seeing it when he scored the Carabao Cup goals. You're seeing it when he's scoring these goals now. He's got that. And I would be interested to see what happens at the end of the season, because I think there's going to be a serious conversation now with the management of his team. I don't think they're going to let him go as easy as they may have done previously. So, yeah. All right. Mikel Arteta, there's no point in doing the subs. There's no time. No, I don't even want to talk about Pepe.
I was ready for it for when you was going to talk about it.
There's no point.
You said it. You said it all there without even saying nothing. But yeah, Arteta team started out. Cedric left back. What's going on here? How's that gonna turn out? Turned out to be a great choice, because I thought I missed what you said about Cedric, but I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I thought he was excellent on that, especially where he's not a left back. I thought he done very well for us. So that was a good decision. Holding obviously had to come in. Midfield of Elneny, right choice. He made the right choices. I don't know whose idea, because we seemed to sit back after we got the 2 goals. So whose decision was that? Was that an on-pitch decision? I don't know. But at the end of the day, look, when you get into this time of the season, I've been so many times over the years when I've watched the Invincibles, you get these games where it's like this. Arsenal played Derby in Invincible year, and we played Wimbledon. I was there where we drew and we struggled to win a 1-0.
Leicester, we drew Leicester as well.
It happens. This happens, people out there. And it's because everybody's fighting, everybody's nervous, and you're going to get this towards the end of the season. This is how it's going to be. It can go one way or the other. It's like the 3 games before, they went the other way. This time they're going this way. It's the way it goes towards the end of the season, when the nerves start to kick in and it gets to the business end. But we won the game, so I'm going to give him an 8.
All right, Mikhail gets an 8. And who's your man of the match?
Oh, well, there was some very good performances. There was, I think it's out of Odegaard or Elneny. Who do I give it to? I'm going to give it. He never gets the man of the match, so he's going to get one today from me anyway. I'm going to give it to Mohamed Elneny. Well done, my son.
Yeah, I thought overall, just because the way the game turned, where it got a bit sort of, we weren't as free flowing. So I think the more important player in the end, and that was Elneny with some of them blocks. So I agree. I'd give Mohamed Elneny man of the match. Big game on Thursday against Tottenham. Perfect result with a 2-1 victory to get that 4 points against Tottenham, to go into that game with a nice 4-point lead. Last few words on it, Steve?
On the Tottenham game?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how this is going to go. Obviously, I'll take a point now. I think a point would be enough. I think Tottenham have to win.
They do.
We don't necessarily have to win. That was a big 3 points against Leeds. We needed that. How we got it, I didn't really care if it bounced off someone's shoulders or their arse or their chest, or it went in. Or I didn't care, as long as we won the game, and we did. So we're 4 points in front. Spurs needs to win. Pressure's on them. They've got to come at us. I feel we will score. So I feel that they've got to score 2. It's going to be nervy. It's going to be close. It's going to be a tough one to call. But I think we're going to have another 2004. I think we're going to get into Champions League. I think we're going to do it at White Hart Lane.
Even if it's a draw,
because I think a draw's they're done with a draw as well.
Mhm.
I don't think they're, because
1
we only
point from
need
2 games needed.
exactly, yeah. So they need to win. They need
Mhm.
to win. They're making it out to be this big free. All right, yeah, it is a big game. But yeah, pressure's on them, and it's off us a little bit now after winning. How it will go, what the score will be, I really don't know. I think I'll be happy with a draw, Kieran. I'll be happy with the draw. Now, if we can go, I think it might be a high score draw, maybe a 2-2, something like that. But I'd love us to win, and
Yeah.
but I don't think we'll lose.
Yeah,
I don't think
neither do I. Big game. I think, yeah, I find it hard in my head to feel like we're going to lose the game. A draw would be an excellent result, and I think would shatter their spirits going into the final 2 games.
Yeah.
I think they'd probably mess it up themselves after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, big game on Thursday. So yeah, it'd be a very enjoyable one. Hopefully by the end of that final whistle, we're in the Champions League.
I'll tell you what.
And, yeah.
What a job he's done if he gets us in the Champions League. I mean, we love our side, we love our players, and we've all done fantastically. But when you think some of the players are on that pitch over the last 4 or 5 games, Cedric, all right, he's done well. Holding's done well. El Neni, he's done well. Eddie Nketiah, he's done well. Not being funny, but would any of those 4 players get in the top 6 side? Probably not.
No.
So that
You're
tells
seeing
you
some
the
of
job. That tells you the job is done.
You're seeing some of the best performances we've seen from these players. And I'll put Xhaka in there. The best I've seen Xhaka play over these last 2 seasons is under Mikel Arteta. And I think he's prolonged his Arsenal career under Mikel Arteta as well. And there's an argument for probably even El Nene and definitely Eddie Nketiah. I think Cedric is probably one that potentially could move on just because of the age thing, and I think that you could probably bring in another right back who's maybe comes through the youth or saying like that. I do like Cedric because he's been a steady Eddie. And I gave my Cedric speech earlier, so I don't need to do that again.
We'll have to watch that
but yeah, no, I think he could be one that we moved on. But the other ones, there's an argument, and even El Nene as well. Some people would say it's you got to move him on, but why?
No,
why? He's an Egyptian international. He's played 5 games this season, and I've not heard one peep out of El Nene. Is Miguel Aziz anywhere near as good as El Nene right now? Not a chance. Is anyone in the youth anywhere near as good as El Nene right now?
No.
Nope.
I think what you got to remember
came in before El Nene, and El Nene came in after. Like it's not like El Nene stays and then he's taking the place of a youth player, because it's not the case. El Nene comes in when he needs to do a job, a specific role. Yeah. So
he's developing.
Yeah,
he's developing still, Lokonga. So we're not unhappy not to see him there.
Exactly.
But it's like if you look at where our sort of our goals are next season, you think, well, okay, our goals next season probably will be to make Champions League again. That would be our goal for next season. So it's very difficult to go out there and buy players to sit on the bench.
Yeah,
if you're going for. So you've got to look at players like Cedric and El Neni, and you think, well, if you're going away to somewhere in Russia or Poland or God knows where else, and you need someone because you're playing Man United or Spurs or Liverpool on the Saturday, if you've got players like Cedric or El Neni and people like that, you can bring them in a Champions League game and give Partey a rest, or give Xhaka a rest, or give someone a rest. So.
Yep, it'd be interesting to see what he does with those. But yeah, make sure you join us tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the Arsenal show, where we'll be discussing a little bit more in depth in this game. Definitely the El Neni situation, and 100% the Eddie Nketiah situation. All right. Thank you, everyone who's joined us tonight. We've got Stephen in there, Russ in there, Yusuf in there. Make sure you're all pressing that like, people. Make sure you're pressing that subscribe if you are new. And Akbar, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure as always.
All right, people. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.